Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hellcase Cup. We are in with our second quarter-final. This first, obviously, witnessed yesterday and was actually won by 3D Max. They eliminated another Polish team. It was AGO, who are out. And now we get to see whether or not Kinguin can get some vengeance here versus the Danes. It's going to be Cash to kick things off. We saw this series actually fairly recently between these two teams. It was a 2-0 in favor of the Poles, but we'll see if the Danes have managed to rectify their problems. And while so far, well, so good. It's been a couple of trades back and forward. The bomb has got its way over towards the site. Maniz is pretty low on HP as well. I say pretty low, as low as you can get, but Mouse is still going to be doing damage and manages to pick off one. Taz as well is tagged within inches of his life as he is left on just 28 HP, but they do have the man advantage. Trying to bait out a little bit of a push from Stown, the young talent. Well, I suppose you could say that about quite a few players on this team, but now it's left all on to Torben Iorden as he has to try and do this in a 1 versus 3. Pistol round at least for now, looking good, and Mouse is already going to finish it. It is going to be 1-0 in favor of Kinguin. And, well, to be honest, I've actually been pretty impressed with this team. I think they've managed to pick up a lot of decent players along the way. I think Taz, his sort of comeback after, like, obviously departing from Virtus Pro has been much better than I think a lot of people expected. Like, this team has done very, very well. And, yeah, I'm looking for... I think they're definitely one of the favorites to actually take this whole tournament. But either way, we're going to see if the Danes can sort of upset them. Yeah, as said, I think it was actually just a couple of days ago, we saw these two teams play on the two first maps. It was Train and Cash. We didn't get to a third because, well, Kinguin won both. It was pretty close, 16-11, 16-13, but both maps did go the way of Kinguin. So it's possible that maybe Fragsters will have actually gone over the VODs. Like, you always sort of say, at least in the same tournament, if you see two teams play a best of 3 against each other, the second time is never going to be as easy for the team that won it the first. Unless it's, of course, Astralis facing off against Team Liquid, because for some reason they're just their kryptonite. But yeah, Fragsters, they've saved a little bit of money here. Not going to be over-investing into this one. They want to save as much money as they can for utility, and already Ralen will be finding that opener. A chance to farm up some cash, and Taz with a nice shot to just shut things down. And while we'll wait and see if any damage can be done. So far, it's looking excellent. A fairly safe fire coming in from the T side, who've gone for mostly rifles. Only one SMG actually bought up, but hey, that's worked wonderfully for them. Either way, this round is just going to be an eco. Absolutely nothing purchased up for Fragsters. Just going to try and do a little bit of damage. Already actually tagging Ralen fairly low. Obviously, such a clean round is sort of excellent news for Team Kinguin in the previous. Now, losing the SMG really wouldn't be too bad a state. And that's the one thing about these sort of rifle purchases. Okay, sure, if you do lose some of those rifles, it's a lot more costly to rebuy, and you don't make as much money off of the SMG, of course. Double the amount made for every kill that you get. But if you can keep a round clean like that, it doesn't really matter so much. But already, the pistols tag teaming up. This time they actually find two. That is going to be a rifle hitting the deck, and already another player fairly low. Worse for worse as well. The bomb is actually stuck towards middle. Mouse, however, part of the cleanup crew. I say that. He's actually going to go down as well. This is a somewhat ludicrous round. You almost have to wonder why they actually bought the upgraded pistols. Who's now into the 1 versus 1, and they're actually going to win it. This was... I'm genuinely in shock. Like, Fragsters have just managed to win a flat eco. Like, that was nothing. Absolutely nothing. Kinguin had 4 AKs and 1 SMG, and they lose to straight pistols. That's insane. Great work from Fragsters, obviously trading all of those kills. It says technical pause in the top corner. I wonder if somebody's just smashed their keyboard, because that has got to be one of the most tilting rounds for Kinguin. Luckily for them, they did keep the sort of second round ridiculously clean. So they will have themselves plenty of money to buy back into this round. But they have just given a huge boost over to the side of Fragsters. They were expecting to get 2,400 into the round. Instead, they get much, much more. Plus, they're already saving cash. That is not a round that you expect Kinguin to be losing. Either way, as I said, we got a bit of a tech pause here. There is still a chance that they can bounce back. And although losing a round like that is painful, if they can win this next one, Fragsters will have no money anyway, so it won't be the worst case scenario. Of course, if Fragsters go and win this one now, they're going to be in a fantastic position, managing to sort of win an early round that never should have been. Like, it's very peculiar where you see a team get no kills with upgraded pistols, and then just with straight USPs and P2Ks, they manage to do the job. Yeah, one way to kick things off. And just gonna be waiting to get back in. As we can see, full investment. Obviously, Bubsky able to save a weapon, so I imagine he will have a little bit of extra cash that wouldn't have been there otherwise. Hopefully we can get off the scoreboard. There we go. Double or pin. Yeah, that is not something you normally see in a third round buy on the CT side where you've actually lost yourself the pistol. Yeah, I feel Fragsters are probably quite happy about that one. A few giggles going around the Danish camp at the moment. But we'll see if they can actually now send Kinguin into real trouble. I've just realized that both teams have the Fragsters badge. Both enjoying that flaming sky. To be fair, it's a pretty cool logo. Although it does sort of remind me of Ghost Rider. I feel like they've just taken it from there. Like, did you put him on a bike? It is him, straight up. Either way, minute left on the clock. Tees are starting to make their way towards this A site. It's going to be the squeaky door. And actually, because of the setup that's been thrown in here by the T side, this may not be the best case, but the dry peek in, refresh has been handed. He gets 3 kills. Just trying to do this all alone. He'll jump into the crosshair of Rarlan. But the damage has been done. There needs to be a comeback here. And while Papa Taz is looking to try and bring the pain onto the youngsters. The fresh face kids versus the old dog. But the old dog has a few tricks left. He's got himself a couple of kills already in this round. 4v2. Straight back into a 2v2. Low on health as well. But he's got Rarlan feeling fully fit. And, well, they have to make their move count. But it's actually going to be a bit of a missed shot. Taz will still get himself another kill and make things more costly for the CT side, but the fact is it's not quite enough. Taz tries his best, but it will be another round on the board for Fragsters. Either way, T's probably just going to take a little bit of a hit. The thing is, like, if they were to go for a buy in this round, you could understand it. Because they've got the economy of Fragsters on the ropes. Now, it wouldn't be a pretty buy. But if they manage to win the round, it would be so worthwhile for them. At the same time, if they go for a few pistols, buy down to around the 2k marker, do some damage, and then buy properly in the next, I think that's probably the safer bet. But it just depends how much of a risky play they want to be going for. Macus, I imagine that there's probably some words which are just like banned within the chat. Or maybe, I think certain things, if you speak in a different language, like certain accents on letters, because it's meant to be an English chat. Like, I don't know. I don't set up all of the mod stuff in the background, so who knows, but yeah. I don't know. Taz is a legend. I don't think anybody will ever dispute that. But they are going to go for the risky force. And as said, I don't think you can really question this at all. It is going to be an attempt to reset. Still, the double AWP setup will remain. Dragonfly is going to be there. Obviously, the guy playing with his little brother. I think that's awesome that both of them are so good at this game. And at the same time, kind of frustrating for me, someone who's not very good at the game, that two brothers can both be good. We've seen the smokes go down before the T side. It's getting them a lot of ground, and actually, they're going to try and go over towards the car. Taz almost being caught out. It's actually going to be Refresh getting one. Taz, he's still going so strong at the moment. I think that's his 10th kill already. We're only on to round 5. Fact is, though, they've still got a hell of a lot left to do. They haven't managed to clear Refresh, and the remaining players are now starting to push in towards this site. Maniz will be able to find one. That's actually an AWP into his hands. Pretty deadly with this weapon, but now he's going to have to be. Refresh has managed to find himself a third. Going to go for the peek out. Maniz is waiting, but he's not quite quick enough. Refresh gets the frag, 3-2, as Fragsters A take down Fragsters B. And yeah, it is. Taz has got 2 kills per round at the moment, and he's only won 2 rounds. That gotta be a little bit painful. Now I'm going to see an investment of sorts from the T side. Of course, the loss bonus will now be starting to build up behind them after 3 rounds in a row go the way of Fragsters. They'll get 2,900 into the next, so no problems buying. Maniz, he saved a bit of cash, but he doesn't actually have enough to buy an AWP with armor. And whilst down, he knows that they're going to be a little bit stretched for cash, as he does have himself his trusty little MP9, the Shredder. Spam those shots away. Kill a man in seconds, but here we go. Smoke's thrown in, out the squeaky door they go. Refresh already going to be able to take down one, and actually, nice shot from Maniz. This may actually net them a bomb plant. In fact, it should do. Bubsky just going to be trying to spray through the smoke. It's the same sort of smoke setup we see again, where just that deep smoke, which actually allows them to get the bomb down nigh on every time, because against pistols, it's just not worth the risk. They've handed that rifle over to Taz. He's actually the most tagged player, but at the same time, you don't blame him. And nice timing from Reese to come around the back and turn this into a 3 versus 3. Probably not the weapon he wanted. Taz is going to be caught through the smoke. And while Maniz is left completely blind, great flashbangs coming in from Fragsters. Well, now Reese, he's screwed. There is absolutely no way he wins this round. MP9 not really worth saving, if I'm honest. And you can see Bubsky's just going to sit there and defuse the bomb. So Fragsters survive. 3 players alive for them. Reese, he's got himself MP9. I'd be quite surprised if he keeps it. Maybe if they want to throw in something a little bit spicy with him going as almost a decoy, but no, he's not going to. Straight in with the AK. This is the first proper full buy we've seen from Kinguin after, obviously, the mistakes that were made. Why did I steal the Kinguin logo? Well, you know, I've always wanted, like, a nice little penguin picture just on my desktop. I don't see why anybody else should have it, in all honesty. I should probably message the producer and tell him that it's wrong, but at the same time, I kind of like seeing Fragsters versus Fragsters. Refresh. He's been feeling pretty confident so far over on this A site, and it is almost a standoff. They're getting ready to pull out the revolver from their pockets. The question is, who is the man with the quickest hands? Neither, by the looks of it, as they're just loading this. There we go, Maniz. He'll be the one to find that opening pick. And I feel like Fragsters really do rely on Refresh on this A site. They've sort of been leaving him as almost a solo man to defend it. Nice work from Bubsky, though. He's going to push back in and stop Reitz gaining any further ground. He's actually going to go pushing a little bit. Lots of information being gathered by the CT side. In fact, Torben's pushed all the way through as well. Kinguin are being sandwiched in. And that's going to be Miles going down. And now Rallen has way too many angles to check. He's just going to have to go a little bit more aggressive. And Torben is going hunting. Fragsters really have got their cocky pants on today as they're going very aggressive. But it works every single time. Taz left all alone. And Bubsky still through the back. This is one of those rounds where if you're on the Kinguin side, you just sort of sat there going, how did they gain all of these positions? Like, they managed to push through, what? Squeaky. They pushed through mid. They were trying to push main. So, like, it's just sort of like, what position weren't they pushing? Yeah, the prize pool, I imagine it's fixed now, because I believe there was a case that's been released to you open it and some of it goes in. Oh, bit of a mistake. Doesn't matter. T's are going B. But yeah, people could open and they were going to the prize pool. But it's been so long since the early stages of this tournament. I imagine that case was removed. There is a new case where you can actually win. I think it's a Medusa, and I was told that there's a funny story. Don't really know what that means, but either way, go to Hellcase.com. And, well, Mouse, he's going to shut me up with the sellout stuff as he's going to get himself the opener. Torben on the site, getting cooked a little bit, but the flames will fade, and he's got Dragonfly raining death from above. Mouse is still going strong. In fact, he's going to get himself a third kill. He seems to be one of the driving forces of Kinguin at the moment. Rarlan still yet to find a gun. Mouse still looking to do a little bit more now. Oh, that bomb position is just horrible. That is so unlucky. It's bounced on top of the box. Flying bombs, the bane of Kinguin's life. And unfortunately, penguins can't fly, so it's very difficult for them to actually get back up there. Look how confused he is. Just like, Gaben? Can you not? Oh, that's so mean. Dragonfly just waiting on the elevated angle. That's painful. Oh, the penguin's back. I think I insulted them by saying that they can't fly, and that was enough to, you know. See, those sort of rounds pain me, because you sort of like, in reality, you could just grab that with your hands, but they have to jump to the height where like their crotch touches the bomb, and then he's able to like pick it up. It's very peculiar and unfortunate because really it was a 2v1 in favor of the Kinguin guys, and they lose the round based off that, but it seems like they're back with a vengeance. It's 2 quick kills in towards this mid position. Wubski still going to be trying to hide in the corner. Mouse as well. Now making quick movement in towards the B side. You've got Torben as the only remaining defender. Almost manages to spray down too. Could have made things interesting. But instead, Team Kinguin absolutely obliterate them. And while, because these rounds have been so close, there've been a lot of like backwards and forwards, no real clean rounds coming in for Fragsters. You got 2 players with enough cash, and then the other 3 in a bit of trouble. Now, realistically, Dragonfly can drop a rifle, maybe, well, I was going to say a rifle and a FAMAS. Technically, the FAMAS is a rifle, but you get my drift. The M4. He could drop an M4, buy one for himself, and then maybe drop a FAMAS, but it would leave them low on utility, and then Torben can just buy an AWP and maybe juggle that, and they can switch. Either way, it's not going to be a particularly good situation for them. At the same time, ecoing, I don't see it happening, and they've already purchased, so clearly the call was made. Yeah, Torben playing and typing. Either way. 6-3. And we are back in. They've actually gone for 2 AWPs here, which leaves the rest of the players on a little bit of a troublesome buy. Like, you got Torben only on a D, Wubski left with an SMG. But they do still have Town in middle. And he's going to be caught out. Not caught out, sorry. He's going to be catching them out. Quick couple of kills. He looked like he should have been going down there, but instead, he manages to do the work instead. And, well, now the T side are left in a bit of trouble themselves. This early work by the youngster has been magnificent. It's down, looking to be cooked, but it's not quite warm enough in the kitchen for him to go down. Question is, can the T side actually do anything to get themselves back into this round? Already, a little bit of damage. A few lower players here as Stown is going to be caught in... Oh, sorry, Dragonfly is caught down to just 16 HP. It's the brothers who are low. Maniz is going to miss the shot, and that's an opener back. Still, one more will be traded as the T's look to try and make their way in towards the site. Rarlan's caught off another, and that will actually allow them in towards B unless somebody's going to get them on the cross, which isn't going to happen. The T's left to try and defend this one. They've got to be careful because Bubsky is going to be pushing him from behind. They spotted the man in heaven. They're going to be a little bit wary, and Bubsky should be able to get this straight frag, but Reitz does exactly that as well. Refresh trying to retake this one with an AWP, but it's not going to happen. Kinguin, what a turnaround. What's that, 4v2? Or was it even 5v2? That was impressive. Shouldn't have been, and well, that's going to be the reset onto the CT side, and Kinguin right back into this T half. Strong position from them. You sort of have to question what went wrong, Fragsters. 2v5, yeah. Once again, though, we've got barely anything invested, and, well, Kinguin's first anti-eco of the match didn't go too well at well, I suppose it was a second if you include the second round 4 fight. Mouse is going to be pushed, and it's begun the same way. Aggressive play. They've managed to net themselves an AK. Maniz is going to try and get himself a pick. He's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to throw away an AK. Is it really going to be happening again? Torben's got his second kill of the round. And the T's are going to be feeling the pressure. Bubsky just going to be hiding in the corner. All he has to do is get himself 1 kill. That's it. 1 kill. It doesn't seem like that much to ask, but it's not going to happen. And now the T's have control of the site. The question you have to ask if you're Fragsters is it worth saving these extra weapons? Or do you want to bring the pain onto Kinguin? Fact is, at least for a couple of the players, there's not that much to lose. Torben looking like he's playing more for the exits, trying to hold them in with this AK-47, although when he does finally make a bit of a move, he's going to be caught out. And now here we see the T side. This is how it should be. Nice quick cleanup. Have 3 players remaining as well. Even retrieve the AWP. And that's much better from Kinguin, because that was getting dicey. It's getting flashbacks to round number 3 where they lost to a full eco. Either way, 6-5. Kinguin building up a little bit of money as well. We do see Fragsters with the purchase themselves, but we have seen a very sort of AWP-centric setup from Fragsters in their earlier rounds when they could afford it. They really wanted to have those AWPs. Now this round they're not going to have them, so may have to see a little bit of a step up. What has happened here? Dragonfly is just cooked! Bubsky, all he did was watch. I wonder if Bubsky, because he switched to a nade, I wonder if he sort of said to Dragonfly, don't worry, I'll smoke you. Oh, I don't have a smoke. Sorry, bro. And then you just see sort of Dragonfly panic and try and get his smoke out instead. That is ridiculous. It's down. Caught jumping, but he still manages to get himself a kill. He will be traded out by Taz, and Torben is still here. Was still here. His head is quickly removed from his shoulders. However, still back into a close situation as Maniz is now left alone, and Bubsky and Refresh, they do enough. It is 7-5. AWP can be picked up and brought into their ranks. They won't be able to afford the double just yet. T's will have themselves a purchase, although by the looks of it, there are a few limitations. Yeah, I'm guessing it was just like miscommunication there from Fragsters that Dragonfly burnt pretty much from 100 all the way down to 0, but they win the round nonetheless. Mistakes happen. Nobody's perfect. Oh, Refresh. He goes for the early pick. I think he's waiting for a flashbang. Although again, it's Bubsky who has no grenades this time, so it's like, you got a flash? No. Doesn't want to risk telling his teammates that he has a nade when he doesn't. So, is this a rerun? Wow. From me answering your question, does that answer your question? Or reading out your question? I didn't actually answer. Either way, cheeky little boost. CT side don't have that much utility in this round, so decent chance here. The boost. Oh, it's not successful. Taz saves Ralen from imminent doom. Dragonfly. Oh, like you just want him to shoot just in those moments. You're just like, for some reason, just tap your mouse by accident and find yourself a kill, but it hasn't happened. And while from the CT side, winning a round in a clutch situation, I don't think this one's happening. The T's have come back, and They are going to break their economy once again. The 2 weapons looking to be saved. Can we watch this on HLTV? I think so. I don't see why not. Don't they just, like, pretty much just link this stream on HLTV anyway? Right? It is Boobski, isn't it? That's what I've been told by, like, multiple different people. It's either that or they're just trying to make me look like a fool, which wouldn't be the first time in my life, I'll be honest, but... Am I pronouncing it correct? Hello, Immortals. Either way, we are back into the round. CT side have opted to force this one. There's a link to the stream. Taz again, continuing his reign of terror. He has been excellent in this match so far, and he's got Mouse to support him as well. Already a double entry. Ooh, we've even got some fancy split cams. The producer's going all in at the moment. For anybody wondering, I am not producing. So any credit that is given goes to the producers, and anything that goes wrong goes to them too. So I can praise and throw them under the bus. Obviously, I am waffling a little bit here, but it is a save from Fragsters. Caster has time to answer chat. Yeah. Well, I'm solo casting, so basically the way that this works is you guys are my co-caster. Although, at times, I will choose to ignore you because, for example, if somebody just spells out boobs in the chat, I'm probably not going to read that out. Kinguin lose, it's my fault. Sure, why not? I'm guessing if Fragsters lose, it's my fault too. Right? Either way. Oh, there you go. There's a little advertisement coming up, and you can get extra money on your account if you use the SLTV code. As said, I think there's like some sort of case at the moment where you can win a Medusa and a funny story. No one has explained to me what that is, but I just got given a little like quote to read out. Maniz, easy as it gets. Easy as it gets. Simplistic pick for him to find, and well. Now the CTs are in a bit of a detrimental position. They started this half very strong, but it has started to dwindle as Kinguin have come right back into it. Torben slightly locked down at the moment, and he's got to be careful because Taz is in the middle. Although, ooh, almost. Almost again. I don't know how Taz managed to dodge all those bullets. Here's the dancing queen as he survives on 8 HP and holds down a pretty important position as well. Ralon already going to catch off one more, and this round is pretty much looking dead to rights. Utrecht has actually lost his gun, and in finding a new one, he will go down. 8-7. Kinguin do win the half in the end after some mistakes early on towards the beginning. The question is, can they now push things over onto the CT side? Because I feel like with Cash, a lot of the time you do see very strong T-sided halves. Can actually look like, because I didn't watch the game that they played yesterday on these two maps. What was the let's look at Cash. Cash was actually Kinguin getting 9 rounds over on the CT side. So if they can do that again, that will be enough for them to win the game. And they actually had a pretty CT sided half of Train as well, so we're looking at the CT side for these two teams, if it's going to be any sort of repeat. Obviously, as said, Fragsters should have done some research into this one, especially if you're going to play the sort of exact same maps in a series. Obviously, the third map is different, but they didn't get there anyway, so it's not like that's much of a difference. If you're going to play the same maps, I feel like you have to have analyzed something and gone into it and said, okay, we needed to change this. So hopefully we're going to see a change from Fragsters. Either way, lots of players over here on the CT side, ready and waiting for this A push, and the trades backwards and forwards as we head into a 2 versus 2 with only 35 seconds gone on the clock. The bomb actually looking to slightly rotate away here. But if the thing is, it's like this strategy works great if Torben gets a kill. Now, if he just dies, it still leaves a 2v1 situation for his teammate Bubsky to try and save. Now, Taz is going to be able to give the call that there is a player, but they have absolutely no idea that the bomb's about to go down on the other side of the map. And I think Taz will have called that there was a player here. Either way, the other problem is if Roland gets this kill, again, the round is over because you have to see a little bit of a push. Torben at least is managing to turn this into a 1 versus 1 on the other side of the map. And Roland, he's won the duel. Now things are very problematic as Torben has to push and Taz goes, thank you very much. Easy all day long because you're not winning this battle. A mess. That's all I can really say about that pistol round. A very messy, scrappy round. But Kinguin are going to be the ones to take it. Now, the bomb does go down at least, and we can see a few pistols purchased up for Fragsters, as they will be buying in with the AK-47s in around number 18. The thing you have to comment on as well, though, is if Taz even dies the second time, they could have still lost that round. So, I think you just call that composure. I want to point out the stats that came up there are actually the stats of the T side. That still hasn't been fixed in the HUD in GoTV. And it really tilts me because it's like the stats come up closer to the team on the right, but they are the stats for the team on the left. And the reason I know that, I know for a fact that Taz has more than 9 kills because he got 10 kills in 5 rounds at the beginning of the game. So it's definitely not true. Either way, this round is all about keeping it clean. Treat him mean, keep it clean, as Kinguin want to basically just have a goodbye going into the next round. They don't even want anyone to die here. You lose even 2 players, a couple of rebuys, you're basically onto the reset versus those AK-47s, which is not something you want as the CT side. You want a chance to make some cash. And while Ralem, that's a nice way to kick it off. Already finding himself a couple, a third in fact. He is just farming kills at the moment. Bubsky the only one left. They're even trying to kill us through the wall. And that's absolutely perfect from Kinguin. That's what they needed to do. You can't really say too much for Fragsters there. They were just waiting to buy the AK-47s. As many of you say, it's like the waiting room when the game is building up. That was the waiting room for round number 18. And this is where things really begin. Because although Fragsters definitely win when it comes to the weaponry department, they've got AK-47s on every single player. The fact is, the utility is strongly in favor of Kinguin, so we're going to see which comes out as king. And even still into the next round, we could see a little bit of a buy coming in from the side of Kinguin. The lowest player is Taz, and he could even just buy a flat-out rifle, about 3,800, which is just about enough. He'll have $50 to spare if he buys a Kevlar. Either way, Mal's going to be waiting up close. That's sort of what they need to do in these situations, is play to the strengths of the weapons they have. Now, he does have a bit of utility to play with, but I imagine he's just going to sit there patiently waiting with his MP9 in hand. There are a lot of players coming his way, and he needs to do a hell of a lot because the rotation is going to be pretty far away. Reitz, this incendiary needs to be well-timed, and it's not. Both players go down within seconds, and if I'm honest here, I think they should just save what they've got. I don't think there's much of a chance of actually getting back into this round. Ralem desperately hoping to try and find something through the wall, but instead, he's actually going to take more damage himself. Yeah, no, as said, the kill feed is mistaken because it shows the team on the left stats on the right-hand side at the beginning of the round. So whenever the 9 kills that you saw, or like 9, 2, and 11, that is actually Dragonfly's stats, and the 17 and 9 on HLTV is correct. If we look at the scoreboard, it would actually show the stats that you're reading on HLTV, but either way. What plays? Dragonfly's tearing heads off. That is a disgusting shot, but we will still have a buy coming back in. Ralem could actually drop, but instead, Taz is going to do exactly what I was sort of saying. He has exactly $50 and enough for just a rifle. He's still sticking with that silenced M4, which normally for the tapping heads, again, we're going to get the cheeky little advertisement. I guess somebody's... I didn't see this go up yesterday, so somebody has probably been said, like, we need to be plugging this a little bit more. Of course, I always like these sort of smaller tournaments in the way that basically, because of it, we get more money going to the teams. Now, that nade was absolute filth. Look at the damage that's already been done. However, it may not matter. Refresh with 2 entry kills as they tried to take control of A main. All the early damage that is done seems null and void, as now Rallen has to try and make a play himself. Pushing up in towards middle. Very aggro, in fact. Managed to take a pick. Just going to look to try and return back. Spots out Boomski, but it's not quite enough to finish him. Leaving it on to Reets and Mouse. They don't have much utility. Don't have much to play with at all. I like this from the T's. They've realized that it is the aggressive nature of the T's that have actually, or the CTs, sorry, that have actually given them this round. So let's be patient. Gather up as a team. Pick up the bomb and go over to one site together where we can just trade. Interesting spots currently being held by, or at least by Reets. He's going to be waiting in the spawn. I think they've gambled more so on towards this B site, and he's just making sure that nobody can come in on the flank. So if they go B, Mouse has a lot to do. If they go through mid and try and split in, at least then he's holding off that angle. Unfortunately for them, it is going to be an A site hit, and there's pretty much nothing they can do here. As is quite a lot of the case with CSGO. It's unfortunate because there's a couple of low players, and from our perspective, you could say, hey, it's winnable. You hope when Taz gets more experience, he'll be a top 1 Polish player. That is a top quality meme you got to go in there. Either way, you know, I'm just going to be seeing these weapons saved. It seems like the T's are just trying to make sure they don't lose any of their weaponry. Wary of people actually pushing their positions, but Kinguin are more than happy to actually keep the weapons themselves. Now, realistically here, Kinguin could force and go for like a couple of SMGs and buy a rifle onto Roland. I kind of hope they don't, because, well, going into the next round, they can just buy anyway, 2,400 in. It is going to be a tactical pause, and I imagine this is just based off that sort of decision, what they're going to do in this round, where they're going to place those rifles. Like, sort of, basically just a strategy for this current situation. Obviously, a pretty crunch time position as well for Kinguin, as this is the chance for the equalization for Fragsters to be right back into the game. Not that they're out of it by any stretch of the imagination. But it is still Taz leading the way. He has slowed down a little bit. Obviously, the first 5 rounds of the game, he got 10 of his 17 kills. So, hasn't quite been running the show as much since then. Refresh as well on the CT side was absolutely excellent, especially when he had that AWP. But, again, not quite been tearing it up. But it's a fairly even score. But it's actually quite surprising to see Stown fairly low at the moment on the scoreboard. Here we go. Right back into the action. Rallen's just going to invest a small amount of money into the CZ. I wonder if they've actually heard something here. Now, it looks like they're just spraying in case players actually boost. And it's actually something that I think it was Henry said. I was casting with him at Pro League, and he was saying that the basic idea is when the sort of boost, like when you actually man boost somebody up there, is in fashion, people then start spraying through the smoke. Then, obviously, when the running boost goes back into fashion, people will start countering that as well. So, like with faster plays or just listening for the sounds. So, it's actually quite interesting, really, because you'll see the meta just quickly switch backwards and forwards. Obviously, it makes a little bit of a sound, so people are normally listening for that if you know that the running boost is there. Either way. Boost is in play. Reitz is going to kick things off with the opener. It does take a little bit of damage, and you do wonder maybe if he'll try and juggle that weapon off to Ralen. Someone slightly healthier. I see it quite often on the T side where you buy a solitary rifle and try and throw it across to different members of the team based on how healthy they are. Now we can actually see more of a gamble actually coming back over towards this B site. Aggression from Miniz. Obviously he has very little to lose, so him going aggressive here is not going to be too much of a problem. However, Stown is going to be able to take him out. They've left Reitz here with the rifle. Oh, he's already a little bit tagged. He needs to at least try and get a kill here, and he's going to be caught out by Stown, the youngster. Kill, although there is Taz. Even with a USP, the man seems to be deadly. The question is, again, do the CTs actually want to go for anything here? They don't have a kit. Any extra money could be valuable going into the next round. Ralen's actually found himself AK, which actually means with the 2400 going into the next round, he could drop an AWP over to Miniz, which would be wonderful. And you can see the CT side are just going to try and save onto what they've got. Still disallowing a huge amount of money to be built up by Fragsters, although the bank accounts of these players is starting to get a little bit higher. You say Taz kill something. Top fragger in the server, mate. Other than that, sure. Very solid by him. They do actually drop that AWP over towards Miniz. CT side. Into that strong economic position. I'm not. It's actually the producer, so sorry, Golden Glade. I have absolutely no control. Otherwise, I'd probably be checking out the scoreboard a little bit more. I always like checking the scoreboard, seeing who's at the top. Not that it always matters, but couple of players in this corner. Flashbang through, and he's going to spray, but he's completely caught out. There's still another man here as Miniz with the AWP through the box. He actually finds one, and he's looking for his third kill of the round. Miniz just goes absolutely ham, and he's got Ralen now to support him, and leaves Dragonfly all alone, but it doesn't matter. Mouse executes him within seconds. What a round from Miniz. A man who really can take over the server and get that AWP in his hands. He will do damage. T-side do have plenty of money to at least purchase up into this one. But the fact is, if they don't win this one, they are going to be reset. Refresh will have some extra money, and actually Torben's not in too bad a state. Maybe a bomb plant will be enough to get something a little bit more interesting. However, the CTs are in a fairly similar state, and they can't get a bomb plant. Well, they can try and plant the bomb. I don't think it really helps them too much. That'll be an interesting thing, where you can just steal the bomb, plant it, and defuse it straight away. Would completely ruin the game, but 1 minute 10 left on the clock. Bit of utility being expended by the T side to try and take over middle. It seems to be fairly abandoned at the moment. You can see Miniz all the way back towards quad on the map. He is just going to be watching mid from there. In the meantime, you also have Ralen just waiting in towards a connector to try and stop them actually pushing too far. It doesn't want to enable them any CT control. timing. Rallen is going to find that opening pick. Wants to go for a little bit more, and actually he's going to find that as well. I'm sure that Torben would have had him dead to rights there, but in fact, it's actually Rallen to do the damage once again. Meniz, even through the smoke, is finding shots, but he will be traded out by Dragonfly. Now Taz, with that cheeky silence, Rife was trying to do the damage, and he does. You wanted some Taz clips, and there's a cheeky double. More importantly, the pain onto the economy of the Fragsters. I think in this situation, you sort of just got to drop some pistols over. Meniz has ended up with a scout. That's a bit of a mistake. He looked away to get a drink. Oh, that's the pain of Counter-Strike. Blink and you'll miss it. And it is just going to be mostly pistols. We see the solitary rifle actually picked up onto Refresh. He had some extra cash, so understandable. And I think he can still drop over an AWP in the next round if it's necessary. Yeah, the timing on him was good. Also the flashbang that came in with it. That's always the small details that a lot of the time you miss is just that peek on its own, incredibly risky. Peek with that flash, that's how you just distinguish between like a bit of luck and an actual like plan, something that the CT side had ready and waiting. Rallen really is looking like he's coming right into this game. Nice shot into middle. Maus now with that secondary AWP. Looking over towards this side. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get overwhelmed because there are multiple players here. Actually, well, there you go. That's where they realize, hey, there's an AK. Well, there was an AK because Reitz has sent it to the floor. It is going to be retrieved by Stout and dropped again by Maus. Lovely round from Kinguin, keeping it completely clean. That AK purchase was all about damage, and they achieved none. Yes, it is live. Or is it live? Dun, dun, dun. How old is the Fragsters in-game leader? I don't know. I'm sure HLTV will tell you. I'm going to guess he's like 20... I think he's 23. 16! Wait, who's the in-game leader? Wait, no, it's Dragonfly who's like 20-something. Nice work from Meniz. Just executing, and this double op setup has already found himself a couple of kills. Seems like Fragsters are looking a little bit flat, and well, Cash is definitely looking more into the favor of this Kinguin side. Now, this was the choice by Kinguin. Train going to be the choice of Fragsters, which has always been one of their stronger maps. Torben is IGL. No, yeah, that does sound about right. He is 23. He's 23. I said 23. I was bang on. There you go. I knew the age, I just didn't know who it was. Mouse. On the side itself has support. There's already multiple players here, but he's actually going to miss the shot. Reitz, however, very quick to trade abroad, and he runs through the flames. He'll get some toasty toes in order to save his teammates. Is it because you grow your knees? No, probably not. Come on, man. This isn't my first day in Twitch chat. Let's be real, that was never going to work. Nice try, though. I'll give you like an E+. E+. And that's for effort. But, yeah, it didn't work. The only time I think I've ever been caught out by anything is when people will just like write like something in another language. Be, oh, can you say this? And that's why I don't do it anymore. Because like, oh, you just said no. And I'm like, well, why if it like because some people genuinely just like, oh yeah, this is how you say this in my language. It's like something nice. I'm like, oh cool. And then so you fall into the trap of just being like, oh maybe it's something nice, and then you're saying like something awful, and you're just like, oh cool, thanks for that, cheers. Hey Mad. Can you turn down for what? Yeah? Options? Yeah, that's an old meme as well. I've seen that one before. Do 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 do. Yeah, not falling for that. What do you do for a living? I cast. You thought I was DDK? I'll take that as a compliment. I've met Dan. He's very nice. You good caster with a question mark at the end. Are you asking me? If you're asking, yes, I'm amazing. I'm superb. Best in the what? No. More. He's going to get overwhelmed again. That's the second time we've seen him get overwhelmed in this corner. The T side are going to manage to push their way on towards the site. They've decided to save their money for the next round by, and getting a bomb plant is definitely going to help with that. Already, Refresh is going to pick off another. CT side. They've done a lot of damage. There should be a possible retake. They've still got an incendiary which they could throw into the backlines. Instead, it's going to go over towards the forklift. At least they know that position is clear. Refresh, he gets himself a second kill of this round already. He in the backlines is trying to do more work, and it is just going to be trades backwards and forwards, but Reach now left all alone. He loses his head, and Fragsters win a round out of absolutely nowhere. The pistols bring them right back into this game, but they are not out of the woods just yet. If you had to pick one professional player to save you from a burning building, who would you pick? Pasha. Pasha. Easy. Easy. Either that or Freak. I want someone who's going to pick me up in their like big, strong arms and carry me out there like a baby. Easiest question of my life. Don't worry, my friend. Like, easy. Imagine just him like whispering to you that you're going to be okay. You're just like, you know what, Pasha, I believe you. This building may be burning down, but you know what? Would you like to cast a... Of course, I'd love to cast a Major. Major. Thank you, Dinoga. You're not my friend, you're my... you're my brother, man. If I had to marry one. Oh, now you've limited Pasha or Freak. Still Pasha. Any day. Pasha's lovely. Taz is lovely too. Anyway, back to the game. Enough about burning buildings and marrying big Polish boys. It's gonna be Dragonfly kicking things off with that AWP. An aggressive push into middle. Do you only cast... I haven't streamed in a long time. There's a guy building me my PC right now. So I may stream every once in a while, but a lot of the time I just try and focus on casting, because that is my job. What do you think of Torben as IG? I've been really impressed with like this Fragsters team for a while. I just think they haven't quite got to that next level yet, but they're going to be at Star Series, and I want to see how they perform there, because a lot of the big teams haven't like showed up. So it's a really good opportunity for them to like show themselves on the big stage. Maniz not going to connect, and it's Dragonfly doing the work. Oh no, Maniz has been caught with his pants down. Taz and Reitz are trying to turn the tide, and there's a flank coming in, which they need to deal with, and they're not. Reitz has got himself a second and brought this back into closer contention. The nade will at least tag him a little bit lower, but they still have to worry because Taz is about, and he's done damage, and not only that, he's dropped the bomb. A big round from the big man himself, and it's left all on to Bubsky to try and clutch this one. Peeking round the corner, will find himself a first. Reitz, can he spot the bomb? He knows it's there. Bubsky, he's got no time. He's got 10 seconds. He's got to run right in towards this corner. He's going to make it as well. That's a clever bit of play there from him, throwing down that incendiary to buy him enough time to get the bomb down. Woo! Nice shot as well. Fragsters survive, as it is another round on the board for them. Can maybe comb Taz's hair. Yeah, he can comb mine too. $14-12. Once again, it will be another purchase, and this one's crunch time. Both teams' economy on the brink. Yeah, I knew Stown was very young. He's a bright talent in Counter-Strike, and it does make me sort of hate Danish Counter-Strike because they are so good and they have such depth. And then you're like, yeah, in the UK we have Smuya and Def. Yeah. Woo. 14-12, and already Rallen has hit the deck. This could be Maniz to trade one back at least, and he sort of, I don't know, was that a fake door opening? Maybe just to try and bait a sound cue. Yeah, Snown could legitimately be, he's legitimately young enough to be Taz's son without it being like a weird age. That's crazy. T side though, they're going to try and make their way in towards this B site. This game has been close, but again, it's a crucial round in terms of this one. Look at the clock, 20 seconds left. They've got to start making their move. The smoke's going to go out. I think the CT side have got to start getting extra personnel on towards this site. There's two men looking to defend it, although Mouse is going to start things off. He's got Reach to support him as well, and the damage has just been done. It's left onto Dragonfly, but the clock is against him now. He's just got to retreat and try and save this weapon, but it seems like Taz, the Brainiac, knows that this is the case. He's going to be caught, though. Dragonfly is not fooled, and it is 15 on the board now for Kinguin, but look at their money. The same can be said for Fragsters. This is going to be a dicey round, to say the least. We've got a CZ, a Deagle, a Mac-10, an This is not what you normally see going into what could be the last round. Question is, can they survive a little bit longer? This time, no run boost. They're just going to sit Taz up there nice and quiet. We've seen the two different ways you can get up onto the boost. Or maybe there's a few others. Maybe some hardcore parkour. T-side looking like they're going to challenge in towards middle. It's always one of those things that gets your blood pumping when two players just run round a corner and meet. Rallen, he's been caught out the last couple of rounds, and it's not going to change here, and that's actually one of the rifles down and can be retrieved by this T side. Maniz is still waiting in an aggressive angle. It's where that CZ thrives. Obviously, such a fast shooting gun. It really is very easy to take down players before they can even react. He's actually going to continue his aggression here. He's going to hear Dragonfly drop into middle. He's gaining so much info for his side and may even be able to go for a cheeky flank just around. He's got Stown with that Mac-10. Now, out of all the weapons that they could lose, this probably wouldn't be the worst one. But this should give pretty much all the info over his team. There hasn't been much of a rotate, though. They're still leaving it on to Taz. Just look at this position, though. Absolutely all the info. He doesn't get either of them. In fact, he does a lot of damage, though, and he's a massive distraction as he helps Taz get a couple of kills. Bubsky now with everything left to do and not much time to do it, but he will find himself a kill at least and have a chance at that bomb plant. The problem is he's got such low HP, the Mouse will just run in and finish him off. That is going to be the end of map number 1. Join us after the break where we'll be heading into train.
Уникальных кейсов с огромным выбором предметов.